make sure the music is playing. I don't hear it.
I don't hear any music. Is it in Discord or in the game?
Yep, we're going live now. All right, let me get you guys on the proper map and the music will automatically start. I want to go to, let me see. Let's go to this map. We'll start off here. Folks, we're just getting started here for episode 2. Promises to be a good time. Once again, I can't see the chat. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, I'm not monitoring it. If we take a break, I might check up on it and we gave you some replies as we go along. Yeah. Let me bring everybody over to this map here. The one with all the icons and stuff. We are playing Abomination Vaults. This is episode 2. This is chapter 1 from the AP, the Abomination Vaults. I believe this chapter is called... What is it called? A Light in the Fog. Pretty awesome. I'll let this map load. Not too bad with the connections today. Well, it's taken a while for this map to load. You guys should hear some music in the background, I believe.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right, let's play some Pathfinder 2. This is a learning campaign, of course, so we might occasionally stop to look up rules and, you know, absorb everything that is Pathfinder 2nd Edition as players and GMs. We're missing Celeste today. Anna, we're missing today, I should say. She won't be joining us in this session, but I don't think she's going to make the second session either, or the next session either. So we won't see her until about episode 4, I think. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, but Celeste will be here, and I'll be playing her. So there is that. You guys have any questions? Put them for me now. Otherwise, I'm going to get into the introductions. You guys can introduce yourself and your character. Lazy, if you have any questions, shoot them at me. Otherwise, give me your introduction.
No questions. So, once again, Lazy from Finland, and I'll be playing the Goblin Bard Neb.
How about you, Ava? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you back.
Haven't been here in a while. My name is Ava. I'm from the Netherlands, and I am playing the human fighter Sigrid, a warrior of soon-to-be renown from the Saga lands.
Fantastic. Ramirez comes back once again. How you doing, my shadowy friend?
Hey guys, this is Byron in Florida. I'm playing the rogue Ramirez.
Awesome. Patrick, what's going on?
Hello, I'm Patrick, up in good old PA, USA, and I'll be playing the elf enchantment wizard Farley Tell.
Yes, you will. And of course, we have Mario. What's up, Mario?
Hello, I'm Maria from Finland, and I'm playing Merindale, Elf Dampier Witch.
Nice. Nice combination. From the dark side itself. Let's go back in time a little bit. Right before the party gathered in the last episode at the Rowdy Rockfish Inn. A few days before this, Sigrid, you find yourself along the cliffs, facing outward towards the sea, just outside of Otari. You could see the town. You could also see the sea, the ocean. Birds are in the air. It's a sunny morning. You squat down in the grass, listening to the waves below, the shoreline just kissing the sand. Perhaps it's the sound of the sea before you. Perhaps the scent of the smoky blade now at your side. Whatever it is, it has awakened a sense of fear, a sense of loss within you. Sigrid's eyes begin to slowly close as her head looks up toward the sky. The wind whispers across her ears in a voice both soothing and foreboding. Her mind begins to swim, to wander to some other distant land, a distant time even. The sky is black. The air is filled with burning embers. Thick smoke engulfs the scene. Cries of horror and death call out. You can hear them, Sigrid. There will be no mercy, a voice calls. Sounds of bodies being hacked down, followed by the ripping and tearing of flesh being consumed. The vision breaks as a single tear begins to fall from your cheek, Sigrid. Sigrid opens her eyes abruptly, her right hand closed tightly around the leather-wrapped grip of her newly found blade. Drawing it slowly from its sheath, she arises from the grass. A mist of smoke begins to rise from the sooty iron blade. With a flash, she lunges forward into a wide stance, as if to defend from some unseen foe. Her eyes squint beyond the blade's deadly sphere. A soft voice slowly rises from within her, then bursting suddenly out with a frightful scream that can be heard echoing. The blade suddenly erupts into a glowing red fire. As she swings back and forth, cutting through the air. I shall call you Raven's Heart, for your burning eye catches what the claw cannot. You shall bring our vengeance to bear on the vile monsters and creatures that destroyed my life, my home, my people. You replace my lost heart, she exclaims. A silence falls over the cliff-top. There, a distant figure sits atop, cross-legged, looking over the sea in the distance. A single caw can be heard. Fast forward, Sigrid finds herself surrounded by her companions at the Rowdy Rockfish Inn. Her mind is elsewhere. She begins to become consumed with alcohol. She sits and she drinks ale, dwarven brews, one after the other, barely able to, vaguely able to hear the conversation of Barrack as he suddenly stands up and says something about departing shortly to do studies at the Dawnflower Library, which is also the temple here at Otari to Seren Ray. She hears, later on, talk of these new companions that have joined the group. A lady by the name of Mariandel, is it? She can barely remember. And of course, the one creature she does remember is this Neb goblin of sorts. This seems to be some type of jester or circus acting type. Regardless, the companions say their goodbyes and disappear. Sigrid spends the rest of the evening alone at the table till darkness comes upon the tavern, drinking away and drinking away. Hours later, she feels a nudge on her shoulder. She wakes up at the Rowdy Rockfish. She lifts herself up from the darkness surrounding her in this tavern still. She's barely awake. It's Ramirez. Ramirez, what's the matter with you, Sigrid? We have adventure upon us. Tomorrow morning we go shopping. We're off to the Gauntlight. Will you be joining us? She barely recalls that conversation. Later in the morning the next day, she quickly sets off, as quickly as she can, out of the tavern, throwing a few coins toward the barkeep. "I'll be back," she says. "Adventure awaits!" Snapping out of that doldrum and that dark place that she was in the day before. Sword at her side, shield, spear. She rushes off to find her friends. "The Gauntlight," they said. I gotta get to them." And onward she runs up the path to the northwest, toward the Gauntlight, the Fog Fen. Ramirez, it's been a strange morning here in the Fog Fen. You and your companions, including Mariandel. Strange one she is, pale and dark. Powerful magic she weaves. You saw evidence of that as you were ambushed by these blue-skinned creatures that right there, as soon as you enter the ruins itself, this sort of like a watchtower type of structure, which is opposite the actual island that the Gauntlight itself, the lighthouse, is located. You've gone through this little watchtower, you and your companions, Neb, Celeste, the elven maiden, Mariando. You've opened the double doors outside and the opposite side of the entrance in this watchtower, and there before you, stretching forward, is what looks like a rotting drawbridge. Chains are rotted and look very brittle. It looks risky to cross. Anyone can tell that. But you stand here at the moment looking out across this bridge. What would you guys like to do?
Neb scratches his chin, and then he has the idea that he says aloud. He goes, if somebody would catch me from the neck of my shirt and from my belt and throw me over the drawbridge, I could then find out if there's anything behind the doors to which I could help you to go over it.
Have I caught up to my companions by now?
Not yet. I'll introduce you at the right moment.
Okay, okay.
Mariandel looks at Neb and says, "That sounds a bit dangerous plan. I'm not sure if that would work like that.
What could go wrong?
Well, everything could go wrong about that plan.
How far is this drawbridge?
It's about 20, 25 feet across, spanning very, very muddy, thick water. As I said, as I mentioned, it's the actual Gauntlight actually exists on an island in the fog fen, so it's surrounded by some water. And this drawbridge, from this stone structure of a watchtower, is how you get to that island. And the Gauntlight itself is surrounded by what once looked to be a fortress, a stone fortress, and it's now, for the most part, in ruins. There's no evidence of a parapet. There's no buildings higher than typically 10, 12 feet, because it's all collapsed in. There are some exceptions. You just see a building to your left that's about 15 feet. You can clearly see, by the way, we're about early afternoon at this point. Right up ahead, you can see the lighthouse itself, the Gauntlight, and that still stands. All right? The stone is moist, covered with moss. It's overgrown. There's brush and shrubs everywhere. You can see where the collapsed stone has fallen in on itself on some of these buildings. Pays to be careful. But before you right now, you stand at the edge of a drawbridge which is laid down as if it was ready to be crossed, except that it looks very unstable. There's double doors opposite it on the other side.
Ramirez looks around the bridge, looks down and left and right, up around. Goes to make a perception roll for any kind of structural error.
All right, so you're looking around. Go ahead and make a blind perception check. You're looking around, poking around, looking at the drawbridge itself, and you notice something as you kind of peer underneath from the side of the drawbridge. It looks like something has sabotaged this bridge on top of everything else. It looks like it's been undercut in some of the wood here.
I look over at Farley Tell and tell him that we should find another way to cross this moat, this bridge, booby-trapped for us.
I do have an item that could help us. It's just a matter of distance more than... I would imagine if the drawbridge is here, this would be the closest area in terms of distance from between these two separate points of land.
Maybe we should send the goblin across.
I'm not entirely against that idea, though I'm a little concerned that if there's something on the other side, all of a sudden, now they're by themselves.
Tie your rope around my waist and you can yank me to safety if there's something there.
Yeah, I do have rope.
What concerns me the most is the water. We don't know how deep it is. We don't know what's in the water, and if we fall into the water, that we have a problem on our hands. We just, with all of our armor, it'll weigh us down.
Is the water like heavily rushing at all, or is it just sort of like existing there essentially?
It's pretty much just existing there. There's no flow going on, no ripples or anything like that. It's not a flowing river like that. It's more like stagnant water. You can see algae on it. It looks nasty, like you wouldn't want to set foot in there.
Okay. You know, you said the bridge is Chapt, Ramirez?
He didn't say it was trapped. He said it looked like it was definitely sabotaged. Undercuts were put under the wood. And keep in mind that the wood itself is pretty rotted anyway. Looks very unstable. But something definitely undercut it, he says.
Okay.
So we would have to cross maybe one at a time, or there's a weight limit to the bridge.
Yeah. And if it does collapse, I do have this ladder feather token, which allows me to create a 20-foot long wooden ladder. So we might be able to bridge some of the distance if it collapses.
I say we send the goblin across, and if it collapses under his weight, we'll know. And then we can save him.
I do like using the rope as a failsafe to hold on to him too. I think we'll keep a rope around his waist just in case he does fall through.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could work.
All right. What's the goblin's name again? Neb? Neb?
Neb.
Neb. Neb. I'm going to put the rope around you, and you're gonna be our You're gonna be our respective guinea pig in this situation, if you will.
Ooh, okay, it's really not the first time, so go ahead.
Yeah. So I have 50 feet of rope in my bag. So I'm gonna start tying one end around like Neb's waist. Try and make like a little harness around his shoulders and whatnot. Before we send him over.
Okay, no problem. That's easy enough to do. And by the way, what I'll need here, Celeste has a torch. She's the only one with a torch lit right now. There's also some, is it dancing lights floating about? Celeste decides to actually put the torch out at this point to conserve it a little bit. But the only thing lighting for you guys that don't have dark vision is glowing orbs put out there by Neb, which function as a torch, basically. So with that in mind, please give me a marching order. I mean, if you do get across, what is your typical marching order? So I can have this written down. I think it's Celeste up front. Followed by Neb.
Well, Neb's going to go first.
Right.
I'll go second.
But not
I'll go
normally.
second.
Not normally. I want a normal marching order here, because normally he probably doesn't want to be leading the way.
Oh, I think Ramirez and Farley were in the back,
Yes.
and then Celeste was more up front last time.
Okay.
And Neb was following on her heels.
Yeah.
Who's got dark vision?
I have.
Same here.
The dark vision people need to be up front.
I think, Farley, you are an elf. Don't elf have dark vision, or do you have low light vision?
I have low light.
Okay, yeah.
So I can go behind Neb
Yeah.
So
because I have dark vision. So
Celeste, Neb, Mariandel, Farletel, and Ramirez bringing up the rear. Right now, let's see what happens when you get Neb across here. And then I'll ask you guys if you want to do any exploration activities, if you recall. Don't forget those, but we'll get into
Just
that.
be careful. I look
Okay,
over
okay.
at I just look at Mary and Dale. Just be careful, because if you see something you think might be a trap, just let me know and I'll come up there and look. Don't just blindly walk through doors, or don't be very cautious as you approach things.
Who's holding on to the rope?
Ooh. I can hold on to the rope. Because I'm more around the backside of the party, so I can hold on.
I'll help Farley
Yeah.
to hold on to the rope.
yeah, I can also help, so that if something happens, there's more strength to the holding the rope.
Okay. All right. Neb, you begin to step out forward onto the wooden structure, avoiding holes and rotted areas, is what you can see. And it seems to be okay. There's a slight creak that gives with you as soon as you step out, but you begin to gain more confidence as you go 5, 10 feet, 15 feet. You're almost at the edge, and finally you reach the opposite side. No problem. Rope is still holding on to you. You come to a pair of double doors, which are very rotted through. You could just push your way through, you can tell. What do you do?
Well, Neb carefully pushes the doors,
Oh, okay.
trying not to make any sudden movements there so that the wood under his feet don't give out.
Ramirez calls out to Neb. Neb, find a location or structure, tie the rope to.
Okay.
He'll have to find something to tie
Yeah.
the rope to.
There's really nothing here. I mean, the chain on where you are, Neb, you could kind of tie it on there, but by the look of it, would probably snap, probably break. The door itself looks very rotted. There's really nothing there either, but you could kind of tie the rope to. You're kind of... What a loss.
Well, because he's gone this far, he can't turn back. So he will carefully start pushing open the door.
Okay. Doesn't take much effort, but it is kind of noisy as rotted wood begins to crumble in and fall in. Now, do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Right, you have dark vision. You also have those dancing lights, which have to remain within a certain distance of you.
Yeah, they have to remain within 10 feet of each other. And I was thinking that Neb, while just making carefully his way over the drawbridge, he has spread them out even on the way so that the others can see on their light as well.
All right, can you put that in the chat for me?
Yeah, just a second.
I'm gonna have to refresh this. Because that's your only source of light at the moment. If you don't place them right, everybody's going to be left in the dark behind you. Hey, what happened? I could see him, but we're in the dark. What's it called? Dancing lights? Go ahead, Mario.
Well, I have a torch, so I can light it if that helps.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Neb, find something to tie that rope to. Then we can walk across using the rope. Then we can walk. We can walk across using the rope one at a time. That way we don't collapse the bridge.
Okay, you have no problem with the spell to space out those orbs, so everybody is lit, everybody can see. Glows light just like a torch, each orb just like a torch. So you are surrounded by light. So you're all seen if anyone was watching you from the distance. It's daytime anyway, but in darkness you would be seen because of the orbs. Keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
And, Ramirez, I'd like you to... you made that perception roll before. No, you were looking at the bridge. Give me another blind perception roll, please. Not that there's anything sneaking up on you, but go ahead and make that roll anyway.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm. All right. You begin to peer inside the chamber, Neb. The wood falls apart and you're able to step slightly in and get a good look. And as an orb kind of pushes forward through the opening, you can see more and more. Now, again, do you have dark vision?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you can see pretty far. Piles of rotting timbers and loose stones lie in heaps throughout this large L-shaped hall, and it turns to the right, furthest from you. Clumps of moss and tangled vines spill down from gaps in the wooden ceiling above each pile of rubble. So the ceiling has fallen down in large chunks in areas, letting daylight through so you can see with that as well. Several doors lead out to all sides. You see two to the left, which is the west. You see further ahead, it looks to be almost the base of the lighthouse itself. You see a door. You also see one to the right, which is the east, maybe 30 feet from you. most barely clinging to their hinges and frames. Debris completely blocks a wooden stairwell that leads up to a large hole in the ceiling where it has fallen through and collapsed. Here and there, the stone walls bear the scars of fire and damage from some ancient battle, perhaps. That's what you see. You also see shadows along the walls because the daylight isn't filling those areas. You have to move your orb to be able to see the walls. And you begin to hear voices furthest from you to the north. Let me get the dimensions here for you so you know what we're talking about. About 25 feet to your left is a door. About 25 feet to your right is another door, flanked by that set of steps that leads up to a fallen-in, caved-in ceiling. The hall itself goes about 60 feet and comes to another door on the left. About 75 feet forward, it turns to the right. So this is a very large chamber. It's about 30 foot wide and over 70 feet long when it turns to the right, or to the east, if you will. You see a total of 4 doors at the moment. 2 of them are on the left. One is furthest from you, and it looks to be the doorway to the Gauntlight itself, the lighthouse. And there's 1 door and a set of steps to your right, 30 feet away. That's what you see. Piles of rubble are all over the place. You hear whispers. It sounds like voices. You can't make out the language. It doesn't sound familiar either. And it's coming from furthest away from you down the hall to the north. What do you do?
So, first of all, Neb looks around to see if there's anything he can tie the rope to.
You don't see anything. Maybe if you get further into the room, you might find something. You still got plenty of distance on your rope. Ramirez, you're not sure what's going on. You can see your friend Neb as he steps into the chamber slightly. He's all lit up, but you can't see what he sees. However, you do hear something behind you. It sounds like grunting noises coming from outside the watchtower. What do you do?
Turn around, do a perception roll.
Well, a perception roll isn't something you do. You have to tell me what you're doing. Are you listening at the door? Are you peering down the hallway? You have to explain to me what you're doing, and I'll decide if it's a perception roll. But you don't have to do that, because I secretly made a roll for you already. And that's what you heard. You heard something coming up behind you. It sounds like grunting noises. What do you do as a result of that?
I see. I'm sorry. I'm going to take an action and ready my shield and pull my rapier.
And as you do so, coming up the road, you see a familiar face. It is the face of Sigrid, and she's flushed in her cheeks as she evidently has been in a hard-paced run. Sigrid, you see a friendly face yourself there, standing in the doorway of this watchtower. What do you say? What do you do?
I'm sorry I'm late. Things were... I was really drunk and did not wake up in time.
Ramirez just rolls his eyes and just... Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you.
For us, you cut for a moment there.
A little bit.
I said Ramirez rolls his eyes and scoffs as... recognizes Secret coming up the road.
Ramirez! Seeing him roll his eyes. I thought you, of all people, would know what it is like to disappoint your friends.
I can accommodate even further.
No, he's good. Sorry I'm late. It was a big night.
Well, everybody's secret's here. So, Secret, grab this rope here.
Neb, as you've stepped into the chamber, you begin to hear shifting feet coming in your direction.
Grab rope. Got it.
Neb turns back and says in the lowest possible voice that he knows that the others can still hear him. Just like, there's somebody coming at me.
All right, and go ahead.
Merendile asks, what's happening in there? What can you see? Can you see who it is or what it is?
No, but I would like you guys to pull on the rope.
Run back to us. We'll pull on the rope to get you over here faster.
Well, with this, Neb starts off running towards the others.
Now, I'm holding this rope because I've been told to hold it.
Heave, pull the rope.
Oh, okay. And start pulling the rope as fast as I can.
Yeah, so I imagine that just that Neb's shoes are left to the bridge as he is drawn to safety.
All right, what happened now? You were pulled back across, or?
Yeah, I started off running towards the others and yelled them that pull the rope, and so Secret started to pull the rope.
All right, Sigurd, you made your way to the front there. You know what's going on. You're assessing the situation the way you do as a warrior. And you quickly grab hold of the rope. Where is he? And you start pulling and pulling and pulling, and pretty soon you see this little goblin come across and bouncing his way across. You pull him close by to safety.
Yes, I mean, it's better than that. Ramirez told me to hold on to the rope when I got there, so I was just kind of standing there holding the rope. I didn't even have to have warrior reflexes or anything.
Silence falls upon you as you listen closely. You don't hear anything. What do you do?
What was after you?
Neb is trying to get his hat back on his head. He's lying on the ground, and so there was someone there. There was whispers and footsteps coming at me.
What
Okay.
kind of whispers? Did you recognize them? Or the language or words?
No, I didn't recognize them. Let's say that that place was so creepy. I didn't want to meet whoever there is there alone.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
Why don't we burn the whole thing down?
Merrick. You'll have to bear with me, folks. I'm having an issue with my laptop loading and installing and running the game. The video is fine, but I have to do this manually all of a sudden until it fully loads. So there is that. Go ahead. Ramirez just put it out there. Why don't we burn this whole place down and be done with it?
If I ran all the way out here with a hangover just to burn the place down, that is the start of a really bad day.
We can't just burn the thing down. We don't even know what is in there. Maybe we just first check it out.
Now,
Well, if we
who exactly is at the front here? We've got Neb. We've got who's next to Neb in the front? I know we got Sigrid. It's about a 10-foot wide
guess, yeah.
gap with this doorway.
I think I stepped aside a bit when I saw that Neb was flying through the air
Okay.
towards. So I'm a little bit aside from there.
Ramirez, your keen perception. You also begin to hear noises coming from the direction Neb was at. It sounds like movement, perhaps shifting feet, very close by to the door. You don't see anything. The lights have kind of pulled back, I assume, Neb. If you want to investigate further, you'd have to get those lights moving forward again. Right now, they're hovering around you and your little group here. You could just barely see past the doors, but it's just shadows.
Yeah. So the light have to remain 120 feet from me.
Mm-hmm. And within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah. So I move the light once again, like there, because there was 10 feet to the doorway, so I move one light 10 feet from me, the next one 10 feet from the previous, and then the last one 10 feet from the last. So like a line of orbs.
Yeah, so, well, that orb would be well into the room. Is that what you're doing? You want that orb inside that structure that you were peeking in and really light it up? You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, you do that. And as you do, you all begin to hear shifting movement and crumbling rocks and stones from within, but you don't see anything as the orb penetrates past the door and into this chamber. You don't have a good angle. You can't really see a lot just through where Neb had pushed his way through. And he's a goblin. He's small. It's not a big thing. I mean, he pushed like the one door. It's a double door. Kind of in enough to get through, and it kind of fell apart a little bit. But not a whole lot to see through. Somebody's going to have to go over there and take a look, see what's going on. But you don't hear anything else. The shifting has stopped. But you can see that far into the chamber, about 10 feet.
I mean, I would be glad to go looking, but let's be real. We all know what's going to happen if I step on that bridge. It's going to be comedy. I'm going to be wet. Ramirez is going to laugh at me.
Want to stomp across, Sigrid? Sword drawn? This new blade you come across? Flames!
No. That water's gross.
By the
There's
way,
leeches in that water.
By the way, that sword, if you double click it, I believe it tells you that for an action or two or whatever it is, you can almost turn on the flames of your sword. That's how it works. It's a magical sword.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that. I will check. But no, Sigrid is standing at the end of the bridge. She's got her shield up and ready, and has probably drawn her sword, but she is not stepping across the bridge because it's going to collapse if she does.
All right, what are you guys doing?
Is any of us, except from Neb, light enough to step on that bridge so that it doesn't collapse?
You could test it out. You want to try it out, Mariandel? Mariandel steps forward. Out of the way, fools. And she's... You want me to take you on the bridge?
Okay, I can test it.
All right, you test it out. It looks somewhat stable enough. It doesn't give as you put your foot out and start stepping onto it. It might take you. It might not. Do you want to go for it?
I'll go
Yeah.
for it.
Mariandel.
Yep.
We need to, if we're gonna go across this bridge, we need to go as one at a time. And Neb needs to go. Or the lighter people need to go first, so when the heavier people go last, they can pull the heavier person in case the bridge collapses.
Yeah.
So, Mariandel, you step forward onto the bridge. Or are you going to wait for Neb to do it again?
If Neb is up for it, then if he's brave enough to go again, if I come right after him when he's there.
What's up, Neb?
Neb looks at the others and just looks down and says, shrugging his shoulders, that, well, I still have the rope on, so I can go.
All right, Neb steps forward, no problem. So you're holding back, Mariandel?
Yeah, I'll wait
All right.
until Neb is over.
All right, Neb, you have no problem getting across. Same as before, you made your way across. You're a little bit cautious because you heard noises, voices, shifting feet. You're fairly convinced something's over there waiting to consume you. But you push forward and you reach the opposite side from your friends. They're about 20 feet away now as you turn back and see them peering out the door. Your lights are spaced above you. You can fully see into the room now. You don't see any motion, no movement from within. You've reached the other side safely. What do you do, Mariandel? You follow behind?
Should I have the rope around me so if the bridge collapses under me,
So-
others can pull me?
Yes, that's hold on to the rope or secure it to you some way and walk across.
Okay, so I'm holding the rope and walking slowly
All right, you slowly begin
on
to
the bridge.
step cautiously and carefully. Right around the center point, you feel your weight kind of give, just like about an inch. It almost feels like it's about to collapse, but you pause just enough where it doesn't. When you feel confident enough, you take another step carefully, and you make your way closer and closer and closer to Neb, who reaches out to you and helps you across. You're now both on the opposite side from your friends, Mariandel and Neb. You've made it safely across. You have the rope in hand. What do you guys do?
Neb is happy that he has company, but then it just comes across to him that, hey, what do we do now? Because we're the ones with the rope.
Whoever's the lightest goes next across the bridge.
Yeah.
Who wants to go across?
Not
Ramirez?
the fighter in the armor.
Yeah. I think I'm the next lightest after that. I'm a little less than 200 pounds.
All right, Farley,
Yeah.
begin to step out. You push the others to the side. You look eagerly to cross. Excited. Adventure awaits you. All right.
Excited is not the right term.
Yeah. You begin
Anxious.
Anxious for sure. You step out. You take pause, but you manage to make your way across without any issues. No problem.
I'll go next.
Ramirez?
Where's Celeste? Did she already go across?
Celeste is right behind you. She's there.
She needs to go first.
Yes.
All right, she steps forward, and she's quite skilled at these things, being very agile, and she swiftly, with just a couple strides, she makes her way across without any problem. She turns back, hand on her hip, looks towards you guys. Well, who's next?
I come across this time, and Secret will bring up the rear, and in case you fall under because of the weight of your armor, we'll all hold on the rope and bring you across.
So the both of you are going at the same time. Okay, so...
No, we're not.
No, absolutely not. No.
One at a time.
All right, one at a time, no problem. There's a little give here and there, but it seems fairly stable from what you can tell if you're going across one at a time, and you can all get across. And yeah, you've all made it across. At this point, you're fully lit. What do you do?
We set fire to the wood
What?
pile inside.
Oh, I thought you said resetting.
Okay, enough. Mirez pulls out a torch. The torch lights. Let's burn this baby down. Yes? No? Is that an option?
No, no setting fire on this thing.
We're getting silly here.
Well, I want to look around and look inside the doors since we've all made it across one at a time. We're all safe.
Yeah.
Let's proceed inside cautiously and look around.
Once we're across, Sigrid will once again, draw her sword and kind of have her shield in hand. So in case anything happens, spend the minimum number of actions.
Neb will also draw his dog slicer ready.
Dog slicer.
Marindal also looks around her and tries to see if there is anything dangerous or and inspect the surroundings carefully.
Oops. Let me see if I could bring you guys into this map and give you a visual representation of this. So you can see. I'm going to make all your tokens invisible so it doesn't log into the token, and just put everybody on that torch, which is a representation of the glowing orbs. And let me get rid of Neb's token. Okay, so everybody has ownership of the party torch, I believe. So when I bring you to this map, you'll all see from that torch. This is what you will see. Let me give it dark vision as well. So those with dark vision can see beyond the torchlight. And let's bring everybody over here. Right, let me open this door. Make sure I don't give away anything. You hear me clicking away? Setting this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me bring everybody over to this map. This is a tactical map, which I'm not going to do a whole lot of, but I do want to give you guys some idea of what you can see. And sorry, folks, over on YouTube, the video isn't loading over there, but it will shortly. Just bear with me. So you guys can see what they can see. Can you guys see on the map now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I'm zoomed in and I'm trying to fix my screen.
Okay.
I don't know where I am, but yeah, I see a map.
You should be in control of the torch. It should. That's your token at the moment. Everybody has ownership to that token. So when the map loads, it'll automatically put you on that token, the torch. Yes, no?
So I should be able to, well,
Right here?
I can click on the, oh, I can't move it because it's paused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I can click on the torch, I guess.
Yeah, everybody can click on it. But you can't move it. But that shows you what it looks like, and it does have dark vision, so you can see beyond the torch light. It's all that black and white area up ahead. You can see that, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, you can see that. So 40 feet away from you is the torch. And beyond that is the dark vision, which some of you have, including Mary Andel. She has dark vision. She could see beyond that torch. She sees that stuff. And I'm assuming she would tell you guys, hey, there's a big pile of rubble up there. And that's why you guys see it. You can also see on the left there's a door, and on the right there's a door and set of stairs with a pile of rubble. And that door opposite you, furthest to the north, that is actually at the base of the lighthouse. And this chamber turns to the right as well. Let me move your torch. Well, let's not move it too far. What do you guys want to do? You don't see anything at the moment. There's daylight pouring in from the top. There's orbs floating about you. Let me actually move the torch forward. Would you like, Neb, to shoot some of those orbs forward?
Yeah. Neb can hover them around.
All right, following close behind the orbs. That's what you can see so far. However, as you do so, erupting from the pile in front of you, not more than 10 feet away, is this big central pile. And as you get close to that pile, there before you is one of those little blue creatures. And he pops out, immediately lets out a scream, and starts reaching at his side. I would like everybody to roll initiative. What I'll do is I'll put you in the combat tracker. If you right-click your combat tracker, you'll see you're in there. Just right-click on the combat tracker, the second from the left, in the menu on the upper right.
Well,
And I'm going to put you guys back over on the lighthouse picture, because we're not going to fight this with the map. So go ahead and roll your perception for initiative. Everybody's using perception for your initiative.
I did. That was the best roll I'm going to make all game. Right there.
I didn't have anybody in the combat tracker.
Yeah, I was making a public roll.
Yeah.
Do I need to re-roll or?
Yeah, you'll see. If you open the combat tracker, it'll show up
Yeah.
now, and you'll see that little die. I don't think I have everybody loaded. I got Farley, Neb, Mariandel,
Aw.
Sigrid, and who am I missing?
I rolled a 27.
You did. Farley,
I'll roll again.
Ramirez, you're not
There
in
we
there,
go.
are you? No,
Still pretty good.
we'll add you. And Celeste, we'll put her in there too. I won't roll for Kitty Poo. I won't put her in there at the moment, but I could. There, everybody's in the combat tracker, right? Let's roll for Celeste.
Yeah, I see my initiative and everything. So
Okay. And you won't see any opponents in there. You will see them listed,
I see-
but you won't see their ratings until they actually move.
well, I see everyone else rolling, but I'm not seeing their initiatives go in the combat tracker. Like I see Mariandel rolled a 21, but it doesn't show in the combat tracker.
Yeah, we can't plan ahead too much because we don't see each other's totals here if we don't remember them.
Oh, are we not supposed to be able to see each other's?
I have no clue. Oh yeah, you can see them in chat.
Yeah, you can see them in chat. That's how I can see that Mariandel rolled a 21, but it's not showing up. Like in the combat tracker, I see Sigrid 16. I see Celeste, Mariandel, and Neb with question marks, and then Farley, Tal, and Ramirez. There's nothing next to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Can everybody see now?
I see everybody has a question mark now. I still don't see numbers.
Ramirez rolls initiative 20. Combat tracker. Okay. I don't know what I did. I messed this up, but we're getting there. Hold on. Video isn't recording any maps. Can't see anything. But anyway, it should be okay now.
Still just question marks for everybody but me. I mean, I can see in the chat where they're rolling,
Mhm.
and I can see what they're rolling, but it's not showing anybody's initiative value other than mine in the combat tracker.
How about
To
now?
me, anyway. Not yet. Let me refresh, maybe. I don't know if that'll do anything.
I have Sigrid at 17. Farley at 16. Celeste at 20. Or 16, I'm sorry. I'm getting these values wrong. 27.5 for Sigrid. 23 for Farley.
That was my first roll, yeah.
16 for Celeste. Mariandel got well, she didn't roll. Now, you have to roll in the combat tracker. There's a die in there next to your name in the combat tracker. That's where you make your roll. There's a big die there.
Yeah, I rolled there.
Yeah, me too.
Can you roll again, Mariandel? Because it's not showing that you rolled anything.
It shows me that 21 and not the dice. So
All right. You rolled a total of 21?
yeah, I rolled 21 total.
All right, I'll put you in there at 21.
Yeah,
Ramirez,
because it doesn't let me roll.
now just understand, are you looking at the combat tracker, not your character sheet?
Yes, the combat tracker window.
And
The little window.
you don't see your... And what do you see? Do you see your name with
I see my name and 21.
Yeah, the dice is gone in there for her because she rolled.
Yeah.
Well, it's gone because I put it in manually. Because it was there for me when I was looking at it. So I clicked on it and I clicked update and I could manually put in what she rolled. But normally what you do... Go ahead, Mariando.
Yeah, I have seen the 21 quite a while now because I clicked the dice and it rolled for me, but I don't know why it didn't update.
Gotcha. How about you, Ramirez? What did you roll? I'll manually put that in.
The combat tracker says I rolled 20. I don't know if it's... But I can't see anyone else's roll.
All right, let me put your thing in there at 20. Either we're out of sync or something here. All right, so I put you in there at a value of 20. So, yeah. So you guys should be good now. Right, Sigrid, you're up first. Action has commenced. As you've entered the chamber, you are currently... I don't have you in the marching order, but I'll assume you're up front next to Celeste. I'm going to put you right there. So you'll be the first to act. Neb is kind of next to Celeste. Mariandel, Farley, Ramirez, you're all bringing up the rear as you slowly begin to enter this big chamber when suddenly right in front of you, maybe 10 feet in front of you, this rubble pile, fully lit at this point, is this little blue creature about 2 foot tall. And
Sacred kind of
screams. No!
I mean, well, she raised... Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Neb, get up here. Good.
Sigrid raises her shield. But wait. If this critter attacks, I will run at it and strike at it. Can I do that?
You could.
Oh, it's a goblin. Sort of.
Well, I had that conversation
Yeah,
earlier.
I'll wait. I'll wait. Well, I'll let... Maybe this is like Neb's cousin or something. I'll wait.
How do you reply to that, Neb?
Yeah.
We had this
I'm
conversation
raising my
earlier.
shield, though. Look at this. I'm clicking the... No, I'm not. I can't do anything because the game is paused. But I will raise my shield. And then I'm waiting. If it attacks, I will charge and strike it.
All right, your first action is raise shield, and then you're going to
Yes.
wait to see what happens? So
Yeah.
you're holding an action?
Yeah, can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Yep, if it attacks or does anything hostile, I will run at it and swing, because that'll be my other two actions, right?
Right. For two of your actions, you can ready an action, which is what you're doing, which is to attack the trigger being an opponent that comes close enough to hit. All right, that's what your trigger is. And when you do that,
Okay.
you get one action as a result.
That's fine.
So it
That's
costs two actions to get one
Okay.
action that you can take during someone else's
Later.
turn. Right.
Roger. Right, so of my three actions, I will spend 2 to do that and 1 to raise my shield.
Right. You're good.
Okay.
All right, next step. Let's forward here. In the combat tracker, where are you? How's everybody's connection? Is there anyone having any lag or issues with this?
I'm just sitting here looking at the game pause thing spinning. But no, I mean, I see everybody doing stuff in chat and all of that.
I see just a Pathfinder logo.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I see the picture, the background with the lighthouse and stuff and all of our icons and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too.
So you see that, but Lassie doesn't.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Everybody click refresh on the page so at least we can all sync up again. Let's take a shot and do that. Ready? Go for it. It's probably a mistake on my end. It took me forever to get logged into this today. And everybody should see that lighthouse, I believe. I know the video for the folks on YouTube, they can't see anything. They're just seeing the Pathfinder logo.
I wonder there's definitely some kind of sync issue then.
Is anybody getting through back to the game?
Yeah, I'm back at the game.
That's interesting.
I see one issue.
I'm not. I just see Pathfinder when I refreshed.
It takes like forever to load. Yeah. It takes
Okay,
a
so
while.
it's yeah.
No, it takes a minute. Yeah.
Mine's still loading. I'm optimistic it'll work within the next few minutes.
Gotta plug
We
my-
have like super internet here in the Netherlands, so
This reminds me of days with the dial-up modems.
oh god.
Yeah, it does. What's happening?
Is it stuck? Is it loading? Nobody knows.
I'm seeing people one by one come back into the players list.
Mine just loaded, so
Yep. I see Byron, Jack, Patrick, Game Master, and myself. So
Okay, I think it's our connection then because we are watching just the Pathfinder logo.
it may load though. I mean it takes a minute. Finland has super internet too, so you guys should be okay.
Ours should be quite fast, but I suspect because they have dug open the whole street right in front of our apartment that they might have cut our connection by accident, but
Oh
who
god.
knows?
Your internet is currently traveling across like an orange extension cord, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Old RJ11 phone cord.
Well, this is interesting. We both are now stuck just with the Pathfinder logo, but perhaps someday.
It's getting there. The
This-
YouTube.
This is how it goes.
It is. This is the YouTube is having the same problem, Lazy, so you're not alone. I'm on my tactical map so I could watch this battle unfold. You guys should be at the lighthouse.
I am.
We'll try and run this combat theater of the mind. That's the goal here. Let's bring it inside.
Oh, we can run the combat now. We can just say what we roll on the D20.
Just pick a number between like 18 and 20.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's always 20.
How many characters we got here? Is there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. 6.
6.
Oh yeah, it's 6.
Oh yeah, I just realized that just can't be our...
I see Kutar just came into the players list.
Yep.
Yeah. It just loaded for me.
The only thing, I'm in there, I'm where I need to be. The only thing I'm missing is the chat. I don't see the chat anymore. It's just black. Everything else pops up.
Oh, interesting. It said that there was a rendering bug and told me that my browser sucks.
Well, but hey, you're in. So
Yeah, and it always keeps complaining that I have too small resolution.
too
it
small
does.
resolution.
Same with
Yep.
me. And then you go to check it and
you're
find out
in
that it's wrong. All right, let's pop out this. Next is one of the creatures. Even if you guys can't see the combat truck, it doesn't matter. I can see it, and I'll tell you when your turn is next. 3 actions and a reaction. And let me just make sure everybody's set up on my map here so I know where everybody is. Celeste is right up in the front. And Sigrid is there, bringing up the rear is Briandel, Ramirez. Neb is right next to Celeste. For some reason, Farley Tell was way too far ahead. All right, Sigrid, you did your thing. I'm going to... raise shield for you. Doesn't work for you. It should work for me. Yeah,
Well, it just doesn't work for me because you're paused.
You do see it on your token now, though, right?
Yeah, I see Sigrid raise a shield. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but my token has a little shield icon.
Okay. So your turn is done. Next up is one of these creatures right in front of you, about 10 feet away. This little creature pulls out something from his side and looks like a little pointy thing, and he lobs it at you, Sigrid.
You little bastard.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's make that a private roll, and he rolls it, and he needs to hit Sigrid. Actually, you know what? Because I can't see the chat, I'm going to have to do this manually. That means I got to break out the dice. All right, let me do this. Your armor class is what? 19 with a raised shield? Oh, this little dart, he whips it at you, and it just you're easily able to avoid it, and it clangs against the wall behind you. He does it again.
Yeah, my armor class is 19.
Same thing. You're easily able to catch it in your shield, and it just falls to the floor with a clank. And it lets out some profanity, which you can understand, Farley. And he also says, "We must kill them all! Kill them!" You can understand it as Undercommon. It's the same language and same creatures, actually, you guys fought earlier. You just caught a glimpse of a couple bodies when you entered that watchtower, Sigrid. Over to the left, there was these 2 little blue creatures, which you could see with the lit orbs overhead. You could see them. Didn't ask any questions about them, I guess, but you did notice them. They're about 2 foot tall, blue creatures in rags and loincloths, that type of thing. And the party had just got done checking them out and seeing what they're about. But they're smaller than goblins. They look like a goblin, but Neb took offense to being compared to one of those little creatures. He identified them as... Neb, do you want to kind of fill her in while the bloodshed commences?
Weren't they the fake creatures?
Some type of gremlin fey creature. Said to be highly magical. So,
Well, Okay, so we kill them.
Yeah, earlier. Farley, you see these
Good.
little creatures shouting and screaming and attacking Sigurd, who's kind of in the lead, along with Celeste. They're throwing some kind of darts at her, unsuccessfully at that. You see at least one of the creatures up ahead, the opposite side of those steps, in the atop a rubble pile. What do? 3 actions.
Okay, so I can see that there's 2 of them.
You see one of them at the moment, but there could be more. You're not sure.
Okay.
You only see one. And it's about 15 feet from Sigurd in front of her, kind of standing atop the lower portion of a pile of rubble that's fallen in, close by to the steps. The steps are like
Okay.
10 feet from you currently.
Yeah. So my first 2 actions, I'm going to cast Produce Flame and try and hit the creature.
Okay. I can't see the chat, so I'd have to look this up myself, but if
yeah.
you know the rule, go for it. Do what you need to do.
Yeah. So, well, this is +8. So I'll just roll it and tell you the result.
Okay.
15.
15 hits
Okay.
easily.
So he takes 6 points of fire damage.
6 points. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't slay him.
Okay. And then for my last action, I'm gonna use shield, which just gives me a +1 to my armor class.
All right. A shield suddenly appears before you. A blue glowing shield. Page 192. Yep, now I can see the chat. Let's see if the rest of it loads. There it is. Excellent. Let's go back to the level. All right, let me double check. I could see the rule now. 2 actions to do. On success, you do 1d4 fire damage plus your spellcasting ability mod. So I guess you added that as well?
For Produce Flame?
Yeah, produce flame.
Yes.
On a success, you deal 1d4 fire damage plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which is intelligence for you. And then it goes in a critical success, which you didn't get. Range 30 feet, well within range. Verbal, yeah, you can use your hands. Could also be attacked. Yeah, that's it. That's all you do. So 1d6 plus your intelligence modifier, you got a 6. Let me apply that to this little creature. Let's see if it worked. Yeah, it did. Excellent. All right. Yeah, he's still alive as the fires attack him and start enveloping and burn him. And he's screaming while he's standing there. Next. Let's see if I can open the combat tracker. Yes, I can. It's all good. Good. Get back to running the game then. All right, you're done. And as you do that, suddenly you see this Sigurd appearing before you. Let's see how far away he is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet on another mound of rubble. All right, this is a little bit to the left of the one that's attacking you. About 20 feet away, you see appearing on the top of this rubble pile another of these little blue creatures. And he too lets out a scream and starts chucking these little darts at you.
things are annoying.
And I believe your shield's raised still. Yes, it is. You have a nice armor
Yeah, it
class
is.
of 19. And it hits. You're going to take 1 point of piercing damage.
Oh no! I can do that on my thing, right? There we go.
You could just
Nope,
click on
not
your token.
3.
Yeah. You could click on your token, and at the bottom,
Got it.
that number at the bottom, you just click on that, put -1, and then hit enter, and it'll automatically update your hit points.
Got it, boss.
Okay. He pulls out another one of these sinister little darts, if you will, and repeats the attack. Let's see if we got this right. Yeah, did it. And this one squarely hits you again, even with the multi-attack penalty. Actually, that doesn't look right. No, that doesn't look right. I don't think it factored that in. Let me see. Da-da, da-da. Let me try it again. Da-da, da-da.
Yeah, I would be surprised for his second attack to hit me, but I mean, it's possible, I suppose.
No, he's pretty darn good. So yeah, he nailed you. Let's roll damage on that. That was his second attack. With a dart, which is agile. Doesn't suffer as big a penalty. I think it's agile. Anyway, damage. All right, you take... This can't be right. Just got another 1. I'm getting some funky writing on the screen here for this. Let me do this manually. This isn't right. Yeah. All right. So let me do this manually. No, he missed. And that was all his actions. He is done. So you see 2 of these creatures. Mariandel, you're up next. You're right behind Celeste. Farley's on your left, and Ramirez is behind him. You're all kind of
How
side by
much did I take
side.
from the How much did I take from the second attack?
None. It missed you.
Oh, it missed me. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled it manually. The whole thing. There's something up with the guy's damage stat. I know he hit you, but I screwed that up anyway. But there's something wrong with his damage stat. It's coming up funky. It's not actually rolling and applying the right modifier. So I got to do it manually. So yeah, you survived the second attack. Didn't hit you. But Mariandel, yeah, you're right behind Celeste and Neb, who are side by side. Farley's right next to you, and behind you on your left is Ramirez. Sigrid is in the lead ahead of everybody, and she's having all these darts lobbed at her by all these creatures. She's taking minor damage, but the battle is going on. Farley let off a nice fire spell. He caught the first one in some flames and made him scream at least. You see 2 of these creatures right now. What would you like to do?
I have this telekinetic projectile cantrip. Is there some object in that pile of rubble that I can
Sure. A big stone, a big
throw?
piece of wood,
Yeah.
anything like that. You could easily use that spell. Can you put that spell in the chat so I can read it? I know Farley's used it quite effectively. in the past.
Yeah, it's there.
All right, takes 2 actions to do. You can target one creature within range, which is 30 feet. They're both within range that you can see them. And basically, you make a spell attack, which is d20 plus your spellcasting modifier. It's on your spellcasting sheet. It'll tell you what that modifier is. It's actually in the chat. All you do is click attack. So go ahead and do that. If you hit, you do bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage as appropriate. What are you using? Big old rock? Big piece of rock from the rubble?
Yeah,
All right, that
a
would be
rock.
bludgeoning damage. D6 plus your spellcasting ability mod. You rolled a 1d20 plus 7. You definitely hit. It's not critical. So roll your normal damage. It'll be bludgeoning.
Okay.
It's basically a d6 plus your spellcasting ability mod. Again, that's right there in the chat. You can just click damage. Nine points. Ouch. I'm assuming
That's pretty heavy.
I'm assuming this is the one furthest away, the newest one to show its face.
Yeah, the one that hasn't yet taken any damage.
Exactly. Well, you easily enough are able to find a rock or see one in sight, and with your magic, the purple fingers that weave from you, pick up this rock and manage to lapside this guy right along the side of the head, and you hit him perfectly. And he almost drops from that alone, but he doesn't. He's still standing. He's still good. You hit him. And you have one more action. What would you like to do?
Let
Power
me
of magic.
see.
Ramirez, you're up next. Get one more action, Mariandel.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Okay, take your time.
I think I'll take the shield cantrip.
Okay, shield. All right, so you'll gain a bonus to your armor class to the start of your next turn. Casting time is 1. Boom, you're good. Describe how that shield suddenly appears after these weaves of energy picked up that stone earlier and just whop that creature at the side of the head. What does this shield look like for you?
It's this kind of a dark purple smoke-like thing that appears right in front of me, and it's kind of like surrounding me.
Okay. Make a little note on a piece of paper, because I don't know how you do this on your token. But your armor class is +1. It's a +1 circumstance bonus to armor class.
Okay.
Which can also use the shield block. That's cool. And until the
Really?
start.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, until the start of your next turn. But it doesn't require a hand to use, so that's very useful for you.
That is very cool.
All right, Mirandel, you're done. Ramirez, you're up next. You're at the back of this group. You could just make out ahead from the dancing lights above them these blue creatures you saw earlier and took a shot at with your little crossbow. Now, your crossbow is at your side. You can easily pull it up and make use of it. What would you like to do? You'll have to move, however, because there's people in front of you to get a clear shot.
I'm going to step to the left.
Okay.
To get a clear shot on both targets. I'm going to raise my shield as one action and then pull my crossbow as the second action.
All right, it's going to be a 15-foot stride to move up close by to Sigrid. Now you got a perfect view of these two creatures. That was your first action.
Okay. I want to raise shield. Oh, well, hold on. Why is I can't see it the map or anything? So I'm just trying to. It's 15 feet to see them.
You moved 15 feet to stand next to Sigrid to be able to see both creatures. You wanted to see both, correct?
Right. My understanding was that we were all in this chamber, or we're in the hallway.
You're in this big chamber, this big 30-foot wide hall, but it is basically a chamber.
I didn't want to put myself in direct line of fire of those creatures.
All right, well, I'll move you back 5 feet now. Sigrid is directly in front of you. If you want to shoot through her, above her head, go ahead. You can do that. You don't have a clear shot now.
No, instead of moving forward, I wanted to move a little. Can I do that?
You move to the left, right?
Yeah, laterally to the left.
All right, that's exactly what I did for you.
Okay. I can't see anything, so.
I know. You don't seem happy about that. I want to see my map. Well,
anyway,
imagine yourself in the middle of this big corridor, right? Just a straight-on corridor. Up ahead and slightly to your right are these two big piles of rubble, each of which has a creature on it. The one to the left is on the top. You can see him better. The other one is a little bit lower down on the rubble pile. Now, your group is spearheaded by Sigrid. Behind her is Neb and Celeste. Behind them is Farley and Miranda. You are directly behind Farley and Miranda. So to get a clear shot, you would have to move to the left. All right? There's room there. You're not pressing up against the wall to your left, but you move to the left of the group, move up alongside, or in this case, just behind and to the left of Sigrid. Right? So you're not at the front, but you're next to the front. And you do have a shot and line of sight to both of those creatures that are currently on those little mounds and to the front of the group and slightly to the right. So you can see them both.
Okay. I'm going to kneel or crouch with my shield raised. That's my second action.
All right. I'll give you the kneel for free. The raised shield is an action. That'll be your second action.
And then I will pull my crossbow at the ready, but I won't fire.
All right. Make sure your shield is raised. Do you have a shield ready? There it is. All right, you've got it. All right, your token's armor class should have improved. Yeah. All right, next up. It's going to be the mysterious Celeste. Celeste is right next to Neb and right behind and to the right of Sigrid. So she's in the front as well. Let me see what her options are. She's going to pull out from her side for an action. She's going to pull out one of those little darts, very similar to what's been being thrown at Sigrid. And she's going to throw one. She's going to lob one at that closest creature, which is about 15 feet from her. So she's going to throw this with lightning speed. She whips out this little dart. It manages to hit the closest one that was hit earlier, by the way, and does some damage. I'll show you her roll. Yeah, if it lets me. Yeah, whatever. We won't do that. She's going to roll damage. Does somebody want to do something for me here? Click on your token, just for giggles. And for one of your weapon attacks, you can all do this if you want. For one of your weapon attacks, I don't care if it's sword or a bow or a dart or whatever, click damage. Just click the damage button. For the HUD. From the HUD.
Oh, from the HUD.
Yeah, specifically from the HUD. Click your token. Go to strikes, and then go to damage for one of your attacks.
Okay. Yeah, it shows it right. 1d8 plus 3 plus 1. And I rolled a 2, so it came out 6.
Sigurd, slashing. Base 1d8 damage plus 3 strength. Smoking sword. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep, 1d8 plus 3 because of my strength, plus 1 because flaming sword.
5. Okay. Let's take a look at this.
For some reason, I don't have the strikes in my HUD. They were here last time when we played, but now I just have those common skill saves, attributes, and utility, but nothing else.
Really? You could try refreshing, because sometimes I won't get the HUD. I have to refresh it again.
I'm just afraid that
I know.
it will take me better half of an hour or so.
So what's happening on my end is I see the damage roll, but when I roll it, and it looks like that time it worked. Or did it? 1d4 plus 1. So she got a 2, a total of 3. All right. Well, anyway, she whips out this little dart from her side for an action and attacks with it for a second action and manages to strike that one gremlin that you guys first did damage to, but does not manage to fell it. So in anger, she does the same thing once again. And she'll pull out another dart and repeat the process. That'll be her second attack. Let's see if she hits this time. Let me make this public so you guys can see her rolls. And she gets a nice 15. Which just manages to hit the creature. Where is he? That's gloomy. Ah! He takes the dart to the chest and just throws his arms out to the side. And it falls forward onto the dart, which pierces even deeper into his body. He succumbs to the wounds, lies motionless. And I believe she has one more action. No, she pulled out a dart, attacked with it. I counted that as one action. She pulled out a second dart, which I counted as an action, and her third action was to strike with it. So yeah, she's done. And next up is going to be... You hear noise coming from the right, in between those two piles where the two goblins are. Separating them is this little 5-foot wide open space. And suddenly appearing, you hear this sickly sound of with little
Oh,
like
God.
and let's see if I still have the picture ready.
What was that about keep it PG?
Well, it's not that bad. Come on. The only way to describe this creature is like it's a giant maggot. An oversized maggot.
Well, that's horrifying.
And right behind it seems to be another one of these little blue gremlins. So that makes 3 of them in total. It almost seems like he's guiding it forward. But right now you see the maggot and it starts moving forward towards you, Sigrid. Actually, it's got little legs. But it stops quite short from you. It's a very slow-moving creature, actually. So it's currently 5, 10, 15 feet away from you in the gap between these 2 rubble piles with one of these gremlin-type creatures close behind it. You could just make him out, almost as if he's directing it forward. And you hear it make these noises in a language you don't understand, but Farley does. And it's basically saying, "Forward for the clan! Kill! Kill! Forward!" And with that, we're going to go to the creature behind it, which is the little gremlin. And he simply moves forward, and you see him start to mumble something, and his hands begin to weave around, and around. And that's it. Next up, it's Sigrid. We're in round 2. So basically, Sigrid, one of these creatures, these little gremlins...
Hey.
What?
I mean, I think I should be somewhere in the combat tracker as well.
I gotta give Lassie that one.
Yeah, you're not in there. I forgot to add you. All right, Lazy, good check. Let me add you. You should show up somewhere here. Do you remember what you rolled?
9. It was like 9 was the dice roll and the bonuses.
Oh. There you are. All right, let me update the combatant and put you at 9 initiative. Having so many problems today. All right, that means you should have went right in between the giant maggot and the gremlin. So you're right before the last gremlin there to take any action. So assume you didn't see anything. So you go ahead and take your action. You get 3 actions and a reactions.
Yeah. So Neb, of course, starts salivating visibly when he sees the worm and starts to be like the maggot, and he just mumbles to himself like, "What a feast that thing will make!" And then he starts orating with best of his abilities because he's going to inspire courage. So that is a focus cantrip.
Okay. 1 action. Verbal. What's the area?
Just a second. I have the spell here in my book. 60-foot emanation.
I don't know why it doesn't say.
Yeah.
60 feet from you. It's emanating from you.
Yes.
All right. So is this something to do with music and you're singing, or are you just, how is this working since you are a bard? Just asking you out of curiosity.
It is verbal.
Okay.
So Neb is not singing, but he is just like saying out loud with as heroically as possible some like goblin war poem or something like that. And well, for others it might be quite irritating, so that's why they might fight better. And it takes my focus point away.
Oh, that's your focus spell. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so basically everybody within 60 feet of Neb, that's all you guys, gets a +1 on attacks and damage rolls for as long as the spell lasts, for which is 1 round. It's a 1-round thing.
Okay.
And against fear effects, saving throws against anything that causes any kind of fear effect. So that lasts until the start of his next turn. Okay, excellent.
Next, Neb decides to sustain the dancing lights because I don't want that some people are left completely in the dark if they go out.
Yep.
So
torch
that's
time.
one action.
Okay, you get one more. Just as a side note, you're setting, kind of hunkering between everybody. To your left is Ramirez, hunkered down, getting out his crossbow. In front of you is Sigrid with her shield forward, taking these darts. And to your right is Celeste, and who's also winging little darts. Behind you, directly behind you, is Farley, and next to him, on his right, is Mariandel. So you're right in the middle of your little group. One of the gremlins has been felled, the closest one. There's one further away on top of this big pile of rubble. And in between the 2 gremlins is this giant maggot slowly lumbering forward, mucus coming from its maw and its body. And behind him is another one of these little blue gremlins. Do you feel insulted by that you were called one of them? They're no goblins.
Yeah, they should know better. Some friends I have.
Sorry.
So, Neb quickly checks his feet, around his feet. Are there any like nice sized rocks there that he can lob at the enemies?
All different sized. You want a big one? Small one? Yeah, no problem.
I'll take a small one so it doesn't fall on anybody's head when I can't throw it far enough.
Sigrid gets hit in the back of the head with a rock and moves at 11.
Yeah.
Call me Gremlin, will you?
That would be fair.
Yeah, so small rock, not just like a tiny pebble, but something that fits in the hand
Okay.
nicely. But will the picking up of the rock be one action?
Yes, because you got to kind of pick it out too.
Yeah, so this has been Neb for this turn. I hope everybody enjoyed Goblin poetry.
As you sit there reciting a poem. All right, then the other gremlin moved up behind the giant maggot. And then we come back around to round 2. Whoops, let me back up. I skipped Sigrid. There she is. She's at the top of the round. Sigrid, you're up.
All right. So my shield is now down.
Mm-hmm.
So my armor class should be.
You have to click raise shield again, I believe. And that'll turn
Well,
it
I'm
off.
not sure if I'm going to.
I mean to turn it off,
Oh, is that how we turn it off? Okay.
I think. I mean,
I can't do anything because the game is paused.
should be able to. I unpaused it now.
Well,
Is it still there?
yeah, it's the raise shield clicky isn't doing anything for me.
Yeah, I turned it off. It's funny it's not working for you.
Yeah, it's like the other ones. Like if I click whisper players, I get like the thing to whisper everybody. Anyway,
I'll check your character. Maybe it's not working, and I'll add it
Okay.
to your thing again.
All right. So moving takes me an action, right?
Mm-hmm. A stride of up to your movement rate.
And then attacking will take an action.
Right.
And raising my shield will take it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's easy enough then. I will. The closest goblin that was throwing darts at me is dead, right?
Yes.
So the far away one is still alive, and the one, or gremlin, my bad, gremlin, and the one behind the maggot.
Yeah.
Can I get to the one behind the maggot?
You could. He's about 5'10". If you move 2 diagonals, that would be 15 feet away. You could get to both the maggot and the goblin. He's right behind the maggot, so you can get them both if you want. Or you can avoid the maggot, kind of flanking him and getting around him and just be able to engage the goblin. You could do that too. That'll take a little bit more distance.
Well, no, I'm just gonna go up to the pair of them. I guess I am the tank if anyone is. So I will raise my shield. I will move to stand, I guess, adjacent to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to slay this goblin.
Gremlin.
I hope. Gremlin. Damn it, sorry. Okay. So I click my attack roll.
What are you using? Your smoking sword?
The Raven's Heart. Yeah.
Go for it. Now, did you turn it on yet? I don't think you did.
Apparently I did not. Strength
okay.
+3 on, expert for +6, proficiency room +1, modifier, fortune none, roll made public. That's not a great, well, that's still pretty good.
17. This is against
Yes.
the gremlin.
Yes.
You managed to hit. It's not critical, so roll your standard damage.
Dude, three twos all over the place. All right. That's me.
-6. Okay.
Yep, that's me, boss.
Okay. All right, Sigurd is done. Farley, you're up next. Sigurd has just moved up with a howl and a scream, drawing that fancy sword of hers. And she's laying into one of those little creepy gremlin creatures at the moment. She's about 15, 20 feet ahead of the party.
Nobody's targeted that big grub worm like creature, right?
No.
And that's, how far is that? 20 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my first action, I'm gonna use my reach spell ability, and I'm gonna alter shocking grasp so that it now has a range of 30 feet as compared to touch.
Okay. 15, 20,
And then I'm
30.
gonna light this grub worm up.
All right, he's about 30 feet away. Not the easiest thing to see. Sigrid is kind of in the way. It'll probably be a little, yeah, it'll definitely be an armor class bonus to it, but go ahead, go for it. You can do this. Fingers crossed. You're also behind the goblin and Celeste. The goblin's not so much an issue, but you are behind them. So.
Yeah. All right.
You have a, do you have a +1 to this for attack roll? This is considered an attack roll, right? Spell attack?
Yeah.
All right, you get a +1 for that. So
Okay. So this will be a +9 then.
Circumstance bonus of +1.
Add. And then
There it is. Arcane spell attack, it says. All right.
Yep.
21. Let me check out its armor class. Oof. Easily managed to weave the powers, the magic, onto the creature and go ahead and describe this successful attack.
So, Farley begins flipping through their spell book before coming across a page describing a story about someone who controlled the weather themselves, and a small ethereal figure of that person rushes forward, passing through all of their allies before grabbing onto this grub worm and dispelling this electrical shock throughout its body.
Roll your damage.
Yeah. Do I get a +1 to the damage roll as well?
Yep, circumstance bonus.
Okay. Circumstance bonus, so +1. Roll. Yeah, 9 and 1, so only 11 points of electrical damage.
$2d12 electricity damage. You get a 9?
Yeah, I got a 10 total. I rolled a 9 and a 1. And then I have +1 from Neb's song or poetry.
Where is it in the chat? I don't see your roll.
Yeah, I see it. Farley tell. 37 seconds ago. Shocking grasp. Damage.
All right, just give me the total again because I don't see it.
It's 11 points of electrical damage.
Ouch. Well, it absorbs the full impact of that shocking grasp. Awesomeness. It quivers and it quakes. The gremlin behind him is shuddering in fear as Sigrid stands before both of them, watching them just slowly decay into pain and agony.
My muse off for a second. Phone.
Okay. All right, that was 2 actions to do that.
It was, but my first action was to extend the spell. So it
Okay.
So that's all 3 then.
Okay, you're all done. It's funny I don't see that in the chat. Oh, I see it over on the other laptop. It says 11. For some reason, my GM thing doesn't see it. Oh, well. All right. 1 second here. I got Ian in the chat or in the game. I think he's prepared. I don't see him in the Discord chat, however. I see you on Discord, Ian, but you're not in the Let's Play chat. If you can, go ahead and join us. Again, it's in the GM's Alcove RPG server, not the GM's Alcove, but the GM's Alcove RPG server. Come in there and then join that Let's Play voice chat group, if you will. Because I'd like you to take part very shortly. Ian, of course, is my special guest. See what role he takes for us today. Farley, you're done. Let's go to the next one. All right, that's the one over here. The one gremlin, the second one that appeared, he's on the top of this one pile of rubble, furthest from you at the moment. He reaches in his pockets. He's looking around. He looks a little confused, and he starts muttering under his breath something you can't discern. And he pauses. He looks down at the battle, and he looks down at Sigrid. Suddenly appears this little short sword out of his hand. He unsabers it, lets out a scream, and he charges down towards the melee, towards Sigrid, and launches a strike against her. So 1 action to get it out, 2 to stride, 3 action to strike. Okay, Sigrid, I believe he slams into you. Momentum is on his side. Your shield is raised. But unfortunately, he does manage to hit. It's not critical, but he's going to roll some damage. Now let's see if I can roll damage right this time, because it's not working off the HUD for me. So let's do this off his character sheet. No, it's doing it again. What is this? It's always giving me a result of 1. All right, I have to do it manually. Came up 1 anyway. 1 point of damage, Sigrid.
Okay, I'm back.
1 point
Apparently
of,
that was just right timing.
1 point of slashing damage. The goblin just lunged down off the big pile of rubble and is now next to you and the maggot. So you're, you're basically in melee with 3 opponents. 2 gremlins and a maggot in between them.
I'm at 31 hit points.
You're fine.
I'm doing okay.
Mariandal, there's a big brutal melee up ahead. You just look over Celeste's shoulder and see it all happening.
Okay. Um. So there's two. Is there two of the gremlins still up
Yes,
and alive,
there's 2 gremlins.
and the maggot?
Yes. There's 2 gremlins and a
Okay.
maggot, and they're all kind of congregated, fighting in a melee with Sigrid right up ahead of you, about 15, 20 feet away. You can clearly make out one of the gremlins, and the maggot, he's kind of big. The third gremlin, he's very hard to see. He's the furthest one away, to the right of Sigrid and yourself. But one you can see clearly.
Okay, so I thought that I tried the magic missile,
Go for it.
and I'll target the one that I can see clearly.
And how many are you putting into them? You automatically hit. You get 3 actions. You can do it 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. 3 missiles.
Did this one have any damage already, or?
Yes, this is the one that was originally at the highest up on the mound piles. And
Yeah.
he lobbed some darts and all that kind of thing. But he's the one closest to... He looks pretty brutalized. He's taken some damage, but he's in his last scream and hurrah right now with his short sword.
I think I'll go with 1.
Okay. 1 on him. Just roll your damage. (1d4 + 1 force damage). And what about the second one? You could put it on the maggot.
Yeah, if the maggot is clearly in my
You got
that
him.
I can shot.
Imagine
then
these
I-
arrows made of purple mist. They're able to dodge and weave around things. As long as you can see the target, it'll hit them. Right? You just roll your damage.
Can you see the
Mm-hmm.
damage throws?
All right, what'd you get here? 4? You got 4 points of force damage on the maggot. Which he's not immune to. And you have 1 more arrow, or you can have it take a normal action. You could just use 2 missiles if you want. Make a decision now before I apply the results.
Maybe I'll play it safe and take the 1 to maggot.
All right, give him another missile. Another D4. D4 + 1. 5 points. All right, your missiles are flawless. Spot on. You killed not only the gremlin to the left that had the short sword and was attacking Sigurd, but you also managed to totally slay this big maggot, just overwhelming him with the force of your missiles, the magical power of the dark side. And it crumbles down to the ground, lets out a strange screaming noise, and collapses to the ground. And your turn is done. So there you go.
Okay, that's great.
That was easy. Huzzah! Does anyone...
That was a pretty good turn, yeah.
Yep. Ramirez, you're up, my friend.
Which ones are left alive?
The only thing left alive right now is the 1 gremlin that was weaving something magical between his hands, like as if he was going to cast a spell or was casting a spell. He's currently engaged with Sigrid. He's the only one left, and he has been hit, but he's not down for the count. As far as you can tell, that's all you see.
I'm going to take aim at him, fire an arrow, reload, and fire another arrow.
All right, it's a tight shot with Sigrid up there fighting in combat with him, but go for it.
Aren't I to the left of her?
She's engaged in melee. She's not. She's not next to you no more.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Byron. It's okay.
It's okay. Arrow wounds heal.
She don't mind. No, you won't actually hit her, but it does give an armor class bonus to the target. That's all. 25 will be no problem. It's not critical hit, but you hit. Go ahead and roll damage. That's the bolt from your crossbow. Sinks deep into this creature, and with a howl, it drops to the ground. Describe the killing blow.
Ramirez takes aim carefully as the gremlin is lunging at Sigrid. He fires, and the arrow pierces its armpit and goes horizontally into its chest as it falls over right before Sigrid.
All falls to silence. You've all successfully, as far as you can tell, defeated these nasty blue creatures, gremlins, according to Neb, as well as this oversized, huge maggot before it even really had a chance to do anything. Sigrid was on top of that beast with her raven's blade and darts flying and magic. Magic. Boy, you guys are deadly with the magic. Just managed to totally decimate these strange creatures. All seems well, all seems safe. The room is lit by the sky above, as well as the shadows along the walls and around you, those glowing orbs put out by Neb.
That worked well.
Worked very well.
Neb holds tightly on the rock he picked up and didn't have the chance to use, because he believes now that when he picked up that rock, everything started to go well for them. So it's his lucky rock right now.
Sigrid, still hungover, tries to quickly get away from the giant maggot oozing at her feet because, queasy stomach.
Okay, battle's over. What would you like to do? The carcasses of the defeated foes lay in front of you. It's just then, at that moment, once things have settled down, you all catch this. It is the smell of burning wood. You didn't sense it earlier, but as you've gone deeper into this chamber, you do sense something's burning. What would you like to do? Search the bodies?
Not good.
Search the bodies. What would you like to do?
I told you guys we should have burned this place down.
You have a thing with fire. I wonder if you should talk to someone.
Fire's just a purification method.
Yeah, but fire damages treasure. Well, check the closest little dead blue dude. The little spellcasty one is dead right in front of me. Rifle through his pockets.
I'm gonna go over to the maggot and take my dagger and slit its belly open and see what comes out.
Sigrid's going to vomit.
Neb runs to the maggot and Ramirez, and he looks at Ramirez and asks that, is it okay if I take a piece with me?
Of course, you filthy gremlin. Yes, take a piece.
What did you call me?
Oh, I called you a goblin.
Oh, that's fine then. Thank you.
Sigrid seriously wonders if she should have just stayed at the bar. Might have been for the best.
Well, I bet that it smells as fine here as in there.
Oh, I bet the smell is I bet the smell here is far more memorable.
Yeah. Just imagine what you would have missed if you just kept drinking at the bar.
What I would have missed, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to tell anyone about my disgusting companions. Right.
Yep. I think after Neb has pocketed some of the maggot meat, he pockets also the rock that he has now, the lucky charm, and then he finds a few pebbles that he starts to juggle just to pass time.
Ramirez rolls his eyes at Neb. What people don't understand is this maggot's flesh is very fatty, and very fatty flesh will burn. So when we have to leave this place, we're going to set this thing on fire, and it will burn for a while.
I'm starting to feel that Secret had a point. You should talk about this fire thing to somebody.
A priest, village elder, somebody, right?
But when it comes to Neb, he's completely on board. Let's burn this place down. It has gremlins.
I mean, I'm not saying that burning the place down is a bad idea. Everyone okay?
Yeah, seems
Right.
that the map changed.
So I did change the map.
Did we find anything on the bodies?
Yeah. I was ransacking the one that Ramirez killed directly in front of me.
They don't seem to be armed with anything. There's no little pouches or anything. It's just loincloth, and they have a little rope around it. They're very primitively dressed, you could say. You do find some short swords. They each carried a little short sword. And you do find one of them that still has a little dart, similar to what they've been, what Celeste used. I think Celeste could swipe one of those up since she lost one earlier. But outside of that, there's nothing else. The maggot you split open is disgusting. It's like the size of a small pony. It's huge. And it's just disgusting and it stinks. It's horrid. It's basically an oversized maggot, from what you can tell. The room is covered with rubble where the ceiling has fallen in. There's burn marks all across the walls, which is unusual. The steps seem to lead upstairs where there is nothing left. You know, it's all caved in, so it's a stairs to nowhere. I do have the map loaded. You can see that, right? You can see the doors to the east or the west, I should say.
Yes.
There's two doors. Let me move the little torch a little bit ahead here. There's a couple doors to the north. One obviously leads to the Gauntlight itself, the one with kind of recessed, little 15-foot wide sub-corridor. It's kind of recessed there. That's the Gauntlight itself. And see burn marks all over the walls throughout this building. Looks like there was some kind of battle here.
You're not the first person to come up with burning the building down, I think.
I'll move the torch in a little further.
I was ahead of the curve, people.
And furthest to the east, you see the end of this corridor and yet another door. So there's 3 exits to the north. There's 2 exits to the east. And it looks like there's another door in the south wall where it turns to the, it's kind of an L shape. If you can't see this, click on the torch and you will be able to see. As you explore this area carefully. Suddenly a trap goes off.
What?
Because Ramirez gave up on checking for traps. Everybody lunges forward before he gets a chance. That happens a lot, Ramirez. That's because you're in the back of the party.
Right. I didn't tell people to go forward.
All right, don't open doors. Don't open doors. That's why I keep the game paused.
I didn't open any doors. Who opened the door?
Somebody opened a door there. I saw it. What's
I
that?
haven't touched my icon.
All right, what would you guys like to do? You got plenty of doors to explore and open, if you want.
Yeah.
Walls.
Well, I mean, there's a door pretty much right next to us. Do we want to just start there?
Something tells me that we should have the rogue check the door.
I'll check the door, but we need to check each of them. And check the floor as well. Don't be like stepping on things that you don't know, or just look down before you step.
Man, the floor is covered in stuff. What am I looking for?
And with that attitude, I want.
Here we go.
When and if Neb takes any steps, he will poke the dog slicer to the ground a bit in front of him.
Yeah, I think Sigrid will use her spear, the butt end of her spear, to kind of poke piles of anything that look funny, or to poke her friends. I mean,
Yeah, her friends have to have breathing holes in them. Or did you say friends? You poke your friends with the spear.
yeah, with the butt end of it. I'm not with the pointy end. Spears have 2 ends. They have the grabby end and they have the stabby end. And I'm poking you with the grabby end, not the stabby end.
Okay, for a while I was worried.
No, I'm not stabbing my friends. What kind of monster do you think I am?
Well,
So you go into that door on the east or the west side to your left, that closest one.
I'm gonna check the door for traps.
All right, go ahead and make a blind perception check. While he's doing this, what are the rest of you doing? Just gathering behind him, keeping your eyes out?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm checking the floor around us, like poking anything that looks suspicious with the butt end of the spear, right? Like, hey, is that a tripwire? No. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check, blind as well.
Oh God, do you want me to make a perception? Okay. How do I do that? I go to skills.
Skills.
I have to click this to be blind roll.
Well,
right?
it's not a skill, it's perception.
Oh, well, then let me go just...
Let me see where it would be. Attributes? It's under attributes.
There you go. I got it.
The second roll I rolled is the modified perception roll.
Okay. And what are the rest of you doing?
I am poking the floor and piles with my staff.
Okay, why don't you all make perception rolls then?
Okay.
Go ahead. If you're doing that, go ahead and make a blind perception roll. Checking the floors and so on and so forth. Midlets. Neb.
Should I roll again? I made it dumbly.
No, you're fine. You don't see any tripwires, no faults, plates in the floor, anything like that. The one thing about you, Neb, is you do notice it's unusual. There must have, on the walls, you do notice this. It's unusual to see this much damage from fire. And you wonder to yourself, wonder what caused all that. It was like almost there must have been some great battle. Huh. Might take closer investigation, but it's just something you caught your eye. And the door doesn't seem to be trapped. It's difficult to see where there might be a trap, maybe a tripwire, because the door is so rotted, much like the other doors you've encountered so far. It could easily just fall right in. A few pushes and you'll be in that chamber. It seems likely.
Well, let's go one by one and check all the doors. Let's check this chamber, clear this chamber. Let's not leave any stone unturned, and make sure everything is good to go in here in case we have to leave immediately and we don't want to run into any traps.
Good idea.
All right, you've got plenty of light to do this with that cantrip in full force. You can go through each door in this entire chamber, and we'll go through that. Who's going to be making this check or checks? Anybody could check for traps. You don't have to be a rogue to do it. You just use a perception check. But rogues are typically better at it. Much better.
As Sigrid just proved, she didn't know what she was looking for. She will let Ramirez do it.
All right,
Sigrid will play the part of the kid holding the flashlight.
Ramirez, you give me one secret or blind perception check to start things off. Just give me a blind perception check. One more. Okay, and the rest of you give me one more blind perception check. This is everybody else. Just one. This is in general for the entire room, especially the doors. All right, let's see. Okay, filing. Sigurd did really well. The 24. Nice. But anyway.
Hey, sorry to cut in, but I have to leave in about 15 minutes. I thought to let you know.
Noted. All right, so what you have uncovered with this. Sigurd in particular, you're quite noticeable about something. And Ramirez, there's something unusual in the northwest corner of this room that caught your eye. You called Ramirez over to take a look, and he was doing the same thing, but you drew his attention to the same little corner, and you managed to find what looks like, Ramirez, a secret door.
Let's go investigate the secret door.
I like that idea.
It's right in the northwest corner. I mean, it just wasn't a door, of course. It was a secret door. And you shift around some of the blocks. You could see there was like something like little scratches near this one little block. And as you push in on it, Ramirez, you easily find that this is indeed the opening mechanism to this small little alcove. Maybe just, a foot and a half wide. And as you push it in, you hear a grinding stone behind make this sudden thump sound, like something moved and just dropped into the floor. And as it does so, this little alcove kind of swings open. You push it a little bit, and it's a little door. And as you look inside, it's this small little chamber, maybe 2 foot deep, and a foot and a half wide. You look at the walls, and it looks like there was some type of scraping along the inside of this little alcove. Something was scraping in here. Let me see here. Go ahead and give me a blind Arcana or Occultism check. This is to recall knowledge, to see if you can identify what this is about. There's like this little, on the floor of it, it looks like there's space enough to hold someone, and it looks like something was there and was gouged out. And there's all kinds of little writing and runes written around it. Something was here. And you sense that something was gouged out from here. But go ahead and give me a roll here. A blind Arcana or Occultism check. Your choice. Pick one and roll it. Ramirez.
Was this? Yeah, only for Ramirez.
You have absolutely no clue what it could be, other than it could have been something valuable in your mind, but something was hidden in this little chamber. You don't know what the symbols are around it, but something was here for sure, and it was gouged out.
Anyone else like to come look at these symbols and see what they think?
I could do it because I have the occultism pretty good.
Okay, give me a blind occultism check, Mariando. You have no idea. You don't recognize the symbols. Might have some kind of religious meaning. But you agree, something was definitely gouged out. Something was scraped out of the floor area. Something was there. Anyone else? Farley? Whoever wants to take a closer look, give me an Arcana or Occultism. You choose. Recall knowledge check. Basically a skill check.
Neb runs there and goes like, me next, me next.
Or not. You don't have to. Doesn't matter. Otherwise, we'll move on. Neb, you reach in and step aside and you start taking a look. And something to do with magic. This is more than just some rare treasure hidden away. This has something to do with magic. You recognize that by the fact that there's runes in here, some of which look familiar to you, but you can't recall from where. So you link this with something to do with magic, dark magic.
Interesting.
Farley, do you want to take a try? Are you even there? I haven't heard from you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Anyone else? So we're going to move on. Make a note somewhere.
Yeah, I may as well. I just want to look at it.
Okay. You step in and take a check.
Yeah.
What did I say? Arcana or Occultism?
I did Arcana, and I sent it to you.
All right. Farley takes a peek and he immediately identifies this was a teleportation circle.
Oh my god!
This was a teleportation circle. And the one missing ingredient, he tells this right away, is that whatever was here, probably some kind of gem or an orb or something that was stolen or taken away, basically renders this deactivated. So in other words, it doesn't work. So Farley, you recognize this as a teleportation circle of some ill repute that no longer works. Somebody broke in here and took something.
So it's basically missing a gem / key, and it's basically making these runes inert.
Correct.
Okay.
If anyone wants to look up teleportation circle in the rules, you can actually do that. They're actually a thing. Create teleportation circle. You might learn a little bit about it. But yeah, in essence, this one just doesn't work. You can tell that right away. Being a practitioner of magic.
What is it, Farley?
It's actually a teleportation circle, but it's missing the key component, some sort of gem, and basically right now it's just runes scratched into a wall waiting. It's sort of like a locked door. It's just waiting for the key to open it up.
Wonder where it goes.
I was
Well-
just thinking the same thing.
It can go anywhere. I think someone can use it to basically make a quick escape to wherever they need to.
So make a note of that.
So things I'm gathering so far is we have Neb was talking about how the fire doesn't look like it was made by a fire. The burn marks were made by magic. We have this teleportation device.
Well, that's what it comes to. You'd have to really look close and investigate a little bit more. In other words, make a skill check to see what this damage is all about if you wanted to. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I'll investigate some more.
All right. Give me a recall knowledge check. It's a skill check. Use either Arcana, any of the four schools, or not schools, traditions: primal, divine, arcane, occult. Any of those four skills, go ahead and make a roll. You have to pick it first before you roll it. Okay, Arcana.